Alright guys, so I know it's been a minute, but I'm back, and today I'm going to be doing a short time on how I got blamed for giving my best friend Derek a puff bar, which never happened. So this starts off back in maybe like October, and he FaceTimed me, and it's like 12 in the morning, and I answer, and I'm like, what's up? And he's like, look what I got, and he shows it. I was like, how'd you get that? So he has two big sisters. The oldest is Amanda, and then there's Becca. Amanda's like 20, and Becca's 16. He's like, oh, Becca gave it to me. I was like, oh, nice. I'm like, you better not tell, like, JJ. And JJ is his little brother. And I'm like, and he's like, yeah, obviously, I'm not that stupid. Why would I do that? And JJ, at the time, or he still is, but JJ was known to, snitch a lot. And at the time, he was 10. And he's like, obviously, why would I do that? I'm obviously not going to smoke it there. He's like, my smoke alarm's going to go off. And I'm like, oh, you should probably take up batteries. So he does. But then it starts like, before he does that, it starts making, like he tries to take out the batteries. And starts making this awful beeping sound. I think he had to cut like one of the wires so it would shut up. A week goes by around there, and Derek catches his little brother JJ smoking a cigarette at his friend Devontae's house. And since JJ's 10, obviously you definitely shouldn't be smoking a cigarette. Derek is like, dude, you shouldn't be smoking cigarettes. Are you stupid? And JJ's like, no, it's fine, I'm fine, blah, 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 this and that. And, like, a couple days past that, and JJ was lying about where he's going, because he said that he was going to go to his girlfriend Phoenix's house, and that wasn't true. He was going back to Devontae's house. And most likely he's going to smoke cigarettes again. And they're in the car. It was just Derek and JJ. Derek's like, dude, you can't go to Devontae's house, this and that, you're gonna be smoking cigarettes again. He's like, no, I'm not, I never even smoked a cigarette, you're lying. And then JJ, like, climbs out of the window and starts running away. Literally running away from his, from the car, because they're already at the house. So he's running down the sidewalk. And Derek has to, like, chase him and tackle him down to the floor. And he's like, JJ, stop. Why are you running? He's like, I don't know what JJ said, but, you know, they go back inside. Because Derek gets in trouble for that, because he tackled JJ. And then like, it goes into, like, this big argument with his whole family. Well, not his whole family. Maybe just, like, him, like, JJ, Derek, and his mom. And Derek's like, no, JJ started trying to run away, and I told him he can't go to, Devontae's house because he was smoking a cigarette. And then JJ just goes, no, I wasn't smoking, you have a puff bar. Because Derek ended up telling JJ. And JJ's like, no, I wasn't smoking, but you have a vape, you have a puff bar, this and that. And Christina gave it to you. And then after, Derek is on my side, obviously, because that's not true. We've been friends for almost 5 years, so obviously Derek's gonna be on my side with that. That's not true whatsoever. And JJ is just trying to convince his mom that I gave Derek a puff bar, but that was not true at all. And then, thankfully, his mom did not know what a puff bar was, so I guess I was kind of in the clear for that. I mean, I was going to be in the clear either way, but I didn't want to get blamed for anything because nothing that JJ said was true at all. And then Derek goes upstairs and he FaceTimes me, and I'm like, yo, it's good. And he's like, JJ just tried to blame you for giving me a puff bar. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, JJ just tried to blame me. I was like, what'd you say to your mom? I was like, I was telling her that that's not true because it wasn't. And I'm like, yeah. So then we're done. We hang up, and I go into Snapchat, and I text JJ. I'm like, yo, did you just say that did you just blame me for giving Derek a puff bar? He's like, yeah. I was like, why would you do that? He's like, well, because Derek was interrupting my plans to go to Devontae's. I was like, that's because you smoked a cigarette, you idiot. Oh, actually, now that I think about this was maybe like early September or late August, because my birthday was about to be here, and my birthday's in September. So I'm like, why would you say that? And he's like, oh, because Derek was messing up my plans to go to Devontae's. I was like, that's because you were smoking a cigarette. He was just looking out for you. He's like, you know, maybe if he wasn't all up in my business, maybe you wouldn't get blamed. I was like, there was no need to blame me to begin with. Was that the first name that popped up in your head? He's like, well, yeah. I was like, are you an idiot? And then I was just mad. And then my birthday comes along, and I'm on FaceTime with Derek because Derek's about to leave. And JJ's like, oh, Christina, can I come over to your birthday? Can I go to your birthday? I was like, no, you blamed me for something I didn't do. He's like, so? I was like, JJ, you smoked a cigarette. He's like, okay. And I was like, you blame me for something that I didn't even do. You could have gotten me in trouble. But that's the story on how I got blamed for giving Derek a puff bar. It's never happened. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed.
It's on 40 in my red car. Bitches change, yeah, I like I ain't all this. Get that money, nigga, that my main focus.